walking home late at night, maybe 2:30. A little drunk, but I'm alright, 'cause I've been hanging with you, and it feels like love.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to Tuesday Fish Talk Live. This is episode number 25. Yeah, hard to believe it's already 25. Hey, you know what? Hey, if you feel like sharing this out, go ahead and share it. Now's the time to do that. But you don't have to, you know. This isn't a requirement. Yeah, if we can get 100 people on, we'll give away some free fish. I'm going to do my shares real quick.
I want you here with me. Am I out of my mind, or is this how it should be? You made me sing about love, so just tell me if I'm wrong. But it feels like love. Yeah, it feels like love. Yeah. Don't know what you do, but you make me feel fine.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday Fish Talk Live. This is episode 25. Tonight we are with Mr. Ron Demers. It's going to be an awesome show talking about New World Cichlids. So I'd like to give a special shout out to everybody in the New World Cichlid Hangout. Alright, we're getting ready to start this show. If you are an admin or a moderator for a group and you'd like to use the show as some content for your members, please feel free to give us send us a message. Let us know what group you're with. We'd love to help promote your group. Yeah, we're getting ready to start here. All right. Yeah. Awesome show tonight coming up, everybody. All right. Welcome to Tuesday Fish Talk Live. Hey, everybody. My name's Dave Gould, and I am one of the creators of this show and producers of this show with Mr. Ron Demers. Our show, Tuesday Fish Talk Live with Ron Demers, is all about a gamified live social media experience for all of you, our viewers, and for the members of the Ron Demers Cichlid Clubhouse and all the rest of his Facebook groups. So welcome. Glad you're here. This is going to be an awesome show. We're kind of changing things up a little bit. So every week I get to talk about the show. You know, I've had people make fun of me, say, Dave, you sound like a used car salesman. you know, this kind of stuff. You know, haters will hate. People like to trash on people. Here's the thing. Is that I'm passionate about what I do, and that is providing content for you. So if you want to hate, go ahead and hate. Every week we have new things that we add to the show. We give away a lot of prizes. We have our spin to win wheel. That's why we ask you to share out. If we get 100 people, we can just bypass our whole selection process and give away some free fish, because this guy that I'm about ready to introduce, I was just at his house less than 2 weeks ago. I got to see his whole operation, his farm, and everything that he does. He breeds beautiful fish. So if it seems like we're pushing it, it's not we're pushing it. We're passionate about what we do. And so The host of this show, his name's Mr. Ron Demers. He lives in West Palm Beach, Florida. He's an awesome guy. Like I said, he breeds African cichlids, but he also is this fish food chef, as I call him. He's got his own food called Ron's Cichlid Food. He's an awesome father. I got to hang out with his son and daughter, and he's an awesome husband. Here he is, Mr. Ron Demers. What's going on, Ron?
What's up, brother? Thank you very much for that introduction.
Yeah, it's good to see you. I was going to play the piano, but decided I'd introduce you instead. The Dave Show.
You can do a little Stevie Wonder or a little, what's it, Elton John?
Well, I could tear it up. I've been playing now for 45 years, man.
Damn, you're old.
Yeah. Yes, I am. So let's see, Ron. Let's who are we seeing on the show? I haven't even pulled up the chat, so I haven't even looked.
Matt Gin and Whiskey. Miss
Yeah.
Lori Venter, Dan Collins. Dan was one of the ones who found one of the stickers in his food last week.
Awesome.
Scott DeFour, Stephen Maldonado. I see Will on there. Beth, Greg, my boy Barry.
Yeah, I'm just now getting it. I see Tasha in there. Of course, Tasha is our group chat moderator. So if you see a lot of things in there, she's just trying to get you guys engaged. Obviously, the more engagements you guys have, the better, and all of that. Let me pull up my flow chart so we don't go totally off the cuff here. You know what I'm saying? Well, of course, it's not up here. Go ahead and give more shout outs. Tell us what's going on.
I think first that I want to start tonight is I just want to tell everybody thank you again. Last week was my birthday, and
Happy birthday.
I want to thank everybody for the birthday wishes. I mean, birthdays usually never used to be much to me. It was just another day, but I got a lot of heartfelt sentiment on my birthday, and
Awesome.
I don't think it was just people sugarcoating stuff. I think it was people speaking from the heart, how much I've helped them and the hobby, and how much I've changed their lives, and it brings tears in my eyes. I mean,
Come on now.
I love all y'all. I appreciate it. I had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people message me, and it made my day. It really did. I was going to South Carolina. I was delivering fish along the way, and it made my day. It really did. I thank all of you very much. That's just I wanted to say.
Yeah, it's super awesome. I don't have that flow chart in front of me, so I guess it's one of those days that we just get to wing it, which I love.
I want to wing it. You know what? It's been a stressful day for me, guys, and I want to wing it. You know, the reality is I want to teach you guys some stuff tonight, and I'm going to talk from the heart, and it is what it is.
Yeah. So I got some of these I can remember. So here's what we do. Okay. So by turning on notifications, you will get notified when this show comes on. So right here, if you're watching the show on desktop in this format, you see this little bell here. If you click it and say select all, you will get a chance to get a notification. It just saves you time. This is fast becoming one of the most loved shows on social media, if I could say that. We do have over 100,000 views. We work really hard to promote the show, and so there's a lot of things that we do. Part of that promotion includes Ron Demers. He's got a bunch of Facebook groups that are in niche-oriented markets. There's the main group, which is Ron Cichlids, Ron Cichlid Clubhouse. Ron Demers Cichlid Clubhouse, excuse me. We'd love for you to join that if you haven't already joined. Come check it out. There's the Mbuna Hangout, Lake Tanganyika. There's a DIY. There's Amazing Tanks, which is just all about tanks. There's also the New World Cichlid. So let's give a shout out, Ron, to everybody from the New World Cichlid. If you're in that group, will you light up the chat a little bit for us and let us know that you're here?
New World in the house.
Yeah. So this show is all about New World Cichlids tonight.
You
we've got a great show. The only part we're winging here is the beginning part. I can remember some things. So I'd love to shout out to Mr. Paul Weiser and his group, which is the New England Cichlid Association. The New England Cichlid Association is hosting the American Cichlid Association convention this year. This is all by memory, with Cromwell, Connecticut. I believe it's July 18th and 19th. But if I'm wrong, what you can do, here it comes, is you can type in Star Chat right now. That puts you into the chat info service that we have. And there is a tab there for the ACA convention. So go there and look at it. There's also tabs there for our sponsors and the people that support the show, and there's other information there. So it's a great place to go. You can also do a call-in from there. You can do a one-touch call-in. Now, here's the thing. When you do use the chat bot, you're signing up for that service indirectly. It's an opt-in. Okay, so we had a crybaby today that was a little saying he was getting Ron spammed. Well, here's the thing. I send out one message a week. That's it. One message a week, and it's about the show, and it usually is about giving away free stuff to you. So anyway, if you're gonna be a crybaby about it, just unsubscribe. Don't need to be all.
This is 2019.
Yeah.
The reality is, whenever you check your email or your text or whatever, you're getting a phone call or you're getting a message about servicing your vehicle or whatever.
Yeah.
That's where we are. If you don't want to see it and it bothers you, by
just
all
unsubscribe.
Means, unsubscribe.
I'm a little salty today.
I think we both are.
Yeah.
You're a little more than me.
People trying to rub our skin off, telling us how much they work and then how much the work that we do is annoying people.
We spend so much time
giving away stuff.
This stuff out, and it bothers us when there's a few people that are like, well, you've got 6 or 7 groups, that's excessive. Well, everybody, there's
trying to create a better community
that are specific on one type of fish, and we're just letting our family, our tribe, I want to call it a family, we want to let you guys have different options.
Yeah. It's all about creating that community. We're trying to gamify it. That's what this show is all about. I mean, there's no other group doing it, and I think we do some pretty cool things. Now, I created the show, so I'm kind of married to it. It's almost like my baby. I gave birth to there's a lot of hours and stuff. Actually, this show today, I spent 7 hours today doing it. But that's what I do on Tuesdays. I create this show. Anyhow, part of that chat bot there also is charities and things that we would like to support in there. So without getting into the message earlier on the page, because that was a little irritant to some people, and then the comments we got back were irritant as well. But anyhow, here's the thing is that, when I first heard the story about Ken Wynn and him dying, saving his family in the fire, it really touched my heart. I dove in, I looked, I read all the articles, I started looking at it. And anyway, without anything much more said than that, I do believe that helping support the Wynn family through the GoFundMe is a really good thing. So we do have a link to the GoFundMe through the chatbot Star Info, and you can get that. That's kind of where I want to just leave that. I didn't mean to rub too many people's faces, but wrong. But here's the thing: is that we're not trying to attach anything we're selling or anything like that. We just think that in this interim time between the time when the family gets its insurance and while they're in grieving in this transition, yes, $20,000 goal is a good goal to help them in this intern thing. I sure hope, and I'm not an expert in it, but I'm sure that insurances and things like that will hopefully set up the Wynn family for years and years to come. All right, so I addressed it as the best as I could, Ron, and that's just how that is. We love the show. We love you. We love what we're doing, and I'm
going to tell you straightforward. I'm going to keep doing this. Yeah. Okay, if Dave gets hit by a bus tomorrow, it's going to go to shit. Trust me. But I'm still going to do this. Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm still going to get on this microphone and this camera every Tuesday. Okay, and I'm going to sit down and I'm going to talk. If 2 people show up, I'm still going to talk.
Did you just wish me get hit by a bus right now? I'm just curious.
Yes.
Oh. I'm just playing. Hey, let's check this out. We love this show. We love what we're doing, but we're gonna take it to the next level. Okay. Mark my words. We're taking this whole process to a completely new level that is not really seen on social media. There's about 20 or 30 or maybe even 50, but there's none in our space, our market space that we're working, a game show. So yes, we are doing a game show called Tank Boss. We're going to try the trial, I believe, here really shortly. I can't really give a date because it's not quite there. But it's called Tank Boss. It's this live social media, live streaming game show. 3 contestants are going to battle each other with questions, and the 2 top contestants are going to move on to the next round. From there, those 2 contestants will battle, and the final person will go into the bonus round to win big prizes and be called the Tank Boss. And what's really cool after that is that hopefully at the end of the year, we can have a Tank Boss Champions Tournament where we bring back each episode Tank Boss, let them compete, and we're in negotiations with some things right now, so I can't say too much, but we're hoping that there's going to be a good cash payout for that last one. So that's kind of what Tank Boss is. We're kicking it up to the next level. We hope you're going to be there. The one thing I did want to show, let me see if I can do this, Ron, real quick, since we're kind of winging it. Let me see. Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. Let's see here. I got to quit talking to myself while I'm doing stuff. I realized that before. I was watching one of the episodes, and I was like, let's see here.
Apparently, from what I've been told, it's only a problem when you answer yourself.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Hey, I'm good. Why doesn't this work? Let's go. There it is. There's that. Okay, here we go. Okay, I got it. So I want to show you what the entry form is going to look like for Tank Boss. Here's the landing page. I just want to take one moment to explain this out a little bit. Maybe I can make this a little bigger. I'm not sure. Anyhow, you'll see here, this is called the entry gate. This is how you're going to enter. And I hope everybody does, because it's for beginner, intermediate, not if you're brand new. But if you've been in it for a few months, you can probably handle yourself pretty good in this show. Intermediates and advanced. You know, we've got a way to kind of selectively look at the people's levels and put people together. So you'll enter, you got to go to the Facebook. This is called a gate. So we're going to ask you questions, and we're going to ask you to like the pages and all of those different things. So that's what you should be expecting to see real soon. It was just a teaser on that. So there's that. Let's see, where am I at? Anyway, that's it. Be excited for Tank Boss. Tank Boss is something that's going to be really, really, really cool. And Tank Boss, yeah, Tank Boss and FishTalk Live go hand in hand. So it's going to be a really kind of cool deal.
We're just thinking outside the box. You know, the reality is anybody that gets to know Dave, like I said before, Dave doesn't do anything half-assed. This is the sheer amount of respect I have for someone who decides there's 2 ways of going about life, and I've been there. You know, you go to your job, you do your job every day, or whatever, and you just do the same shit every day because that's what works. You got to push yourself. You know, you got to push yourself to try something new.
Yeah.
Hell, it wasn't 6 months ago. I wouldn't get behind the camera, you know, and I'm not scared of it at all now. I mean.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be doing another show too, Ron. It's gonna be called CBD Live. It's a cannabinoid oil show with my good buddy Dave Albin in North Carolina. So it's the Dave and Dave show.
The Dave and Dave show.
Yeah. I think I could commit one more night a week to doing another show. So it'll be Tank Boss and FishTalk Live, I think, can interchange.
Do that on Monday night. That way on Tuesday you'll be a happier person.
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking Saturday morning might be better, but who knows? Friday. Hey, I got a pretty cool opening promo. It's a little long, but here's what I wanted to do today. I know you've got some great content that you're going to teach, but I was hoping to bring people into a perspective of what it's like to be in South America. About 18 years ago, I was in Brazil. It was the best 6 months of my life. I went down there to work. I was working for a live performance multimedia theater out of San Francisco, and we were spotted by this group and brought us down there, and we were performing alongside with Circus Olay and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I got a chance to be in Brazil, but I wanted to try to help you guys. So New World cichlids for some of us is either a side hobby to our Africans, or we don't know much about it or whatnot, but I wanted to bring you into the realm of what it's like down there in South America. So here's our show promo, episode promo. Enjoy that. It's going to be a few minutes. If you have to go to the bathroom, maybe now's a good time. Yeah, that's really awesome stuff there, Ron. Beautiful. Peru and all that. Let me bring our cameras back. Here we are. We solved the technical difficulty, so Ron now sounds crystal clear. Awesome.
Got to plug the microphone in.
Yeah. So we're talking about New World cichlids today, and like we have in the last couple episodes, I have a little bit of a Google Earth thing going on here. I'm going to just quickly show everybody here what's going on. Let's see, here it comes. And I think I can shut myself off. Let me do that. All right. Yeah, so here's Google Earth. And, you know, one of the largest lakes that is in Central America that a lot of these fish are coming out of is Lake Nicaragua here. Rio San Juan River, all that. So let's just take a large perspective, okay? Here we can see Florida in the top part. See Louisiana, Texas. There's California. Hey, Isaac, what's up? Everything below the United States on the Mexico side, all the way through Guatemala, Belize, Honduras, El Salvador, Nicaragua, Panama, and that is Central America. So when we refer to Central American cichlids, most of those are going to be found here, and they're going to be found in rivers and lakes, mostly in rivers, some standing water and things. One thing I learned about that Lake Nicaragua, where'd you go? Hello? Right here. Right here. One thing I learned about Lake Nicaragua, okay, so most of the water that drains from this lake goes into the Gulf of Mexico. It's too steep, but even though the land right here is a lot more narrow, it's too steep to go off into the Pacific, which I thought was really interesting. So that's your Central America. When we talk about South American cichlids, that's all over the continent. Everything from the northernmost Venezuela all the way down to the southernmost of Argentina. You're going to find a lot of these fish that we deal with all throughout there. But mostly what we're talking about a lot of times here is the Amazon River. And you can see that now in the middle coming into view. You can see how massive that is. So let's do a zoom in on a city again. Here's a little teeny city on the corner. Let's just do that zoom in again, just to give us perspective. There's the houses. There's the streets. We're seeing it. There's the houses. So when we zoom out again, the sheer size of this river is just massive. It's the longest river in the world. And let's see. That's pretty much it. I had a few other things. There's a really cool bunch of fish up here in Venezuela too. On this river right here, Rio Caroni. So you'll hear about sports fishermen, you know, spending thousands of dollars to go up to this river to go fishing. The monster fish, there's a whole series on the Animal Planet called Monster Fish, and they were catching some big ones out of there too. So
Some monsters.
some monster fish. Yeah, I could have shut that, made it look a little easier. All right, we're going to go ahead and turn this over to you, Ron, and let us teach the lesson of what we've got going on here. And I'm going to double check, make sure everybody's doing good. I haven't checked a single chat message yet.
Looks like we're doing good.
All right. So, yeah, so we are going to have questions after this and a quiz test, so pay attention. And here's Mr. Ron Demers.
Take notes.
Yes.
Hey, guys. As we discussed, we're going to talk about New World tonight. This is what I cut my teeth on. This is what I first started keeping, and I'm going to go back to these in the future when the monster tank. I miss them. So, for you that don't know, New World cichlids are found throughout Central South America and Mexico, and believe it or not, little parts of Texas. These are big fish. They're beautiful fish. They are known for their aggressive behavior. The size and temperament span the entire range from being little fish and not being bossy to being big monsters, and some of them can be very aggressive and some are very, very passive. It's a very diverse group of fish, so to speak. Most of them are relatively easy to keep. Males, of course, are the species that are the more brilliantly colored, especially, you know, when they're with species only or females. But quite a few of them, of these species, the females look very, very nice as well. I think one of the the things that some of you guys are going to chime in that you love about them is some of these big, beautiful babies like Oscars and other, big Jack Dempsey's, Midas cichlids. They get this kind of human personality about them. They look forward to seeing you and eat out of your hand, and you, it's like a dog or a cat. You look forward to seeing them when you get home, and they look forward to seeing you.
My Oscar for sure, I can tell you, Ron, is like a dog. It does all sorts of crazy stuff, and my girlfriend keeps thinking I'm going to be able to train him, which I don't know, but I certainly do pet him. He's just awesome personality. Yeah.
It's got to be easier to train him than herding cats.
Yeah.
I think as long as there's food involved, you can train them.
Yeah, I do that professionally, herding cats.
You're a cat herder?
No, I always tell that with the teams
or a hoarder.
The teams that I work with.
Adding like an extra couple vowels in there, the difference between a hoarder and a herder.
Hey, I personally dig hoarders. I'd love to date a hoarder. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Derailed.
Yeah.
Good news is no matter what size aquarium you have, and it doesn't matter what your level of expertise is. I lost one of my lights. Doesn't matter what your level of experience is or what kind of water you have. There is some type of New World cichlid that would work for you that you could take care of relatively easily. I think one of the most amazing things about them, and we talk about Africans a lot, and they have a couple different habitats, but nothing like New Worlds. New World cichlids occur in just about every aquatic environment you can think of. Fast flowing rivers, fast flowing streams, quiet rivers, lakes, swamps, backwaters, freshwater, some brackish, and from what I've read, some full salt water. Their habitat can include, like you've seen on, National Geographic, it can be, down trees like the Amazon River. It floods, seasonally. Boulder fields, just nothing but these huge boulders, and there's a lot of caves that get created, especially for the big catfish and stuff that live in the rivers. Weed beds, open sand, mud flats. It's such a diverse aquatic environment that these fish live in. It's truly remarkable. There's many types of New Worlds, so we're going to touch on the two main types. There's three basically, but we're going to touch on all three of them. The two main types, they all get lumped together. We call them South American, Central Americans. Central America is the home for a wide variety of species, and as far as I'm concerned, some of the most beautiful. A lot of these Central American fish have found their way into the hobby. It's pretty amazing. I used to breed some, and one day I got, I think, 8 or 10 of them, and no one had ever seen them before. We looked through books and books and books and books and books, and finally we found them, and found out that at that current time I was the only person known to have them. I forgot their name, but they were truly remarkable. And luckily I was able to breed them and put them back into the hobby. There's a few familiar types of Central American cichlids that once I say these names, you'll be like, oh yeah, I've heard of that. The most common is a convict. If you haven't heard of a convict cichlid, I honestly don't know what rock you've been living under. It's a $2 fish at PetSmart, and it is like a bunch of drunk rabbits. Somehow you end up with 5 million of them. It's a great cichlid. It's a great beginner cichlid. They breed like I said, like drunk rabbits all the time, hundreds and hundreds or thousands of fry. Another very common fish is called a firemouth. Beautiful fish. Salvini, beautiful. I'm going to probably start keeping them again soon. Jack Dempsey's, very popular fish. You all have heard of Jack Dempsey's. Midas cichlids, red devils. There's a lot more than that, but we don't have 4 hours to talk about each place, so I'm going to try to go through it.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of pictures too, Ron. We'll eventually, after this, we'll show a bunch of pictures.
For the South Americans, they've been in a lot of fish tanks for 100+ years. They've been in the hobby the longest. Their water conditions sometimes are a little different than the Central American or even Africans. And like the video that you watched, they were catching some discus in the net. Those type of fish require a much lower pH and softer water. That's just the type of fish they are. But some familiar types that you from South Americans that's going to ring a bell with you is Oscars, of course. We all love those big, beautiful, gentle giants. You buy them at 2 inches at your local fish store, and before you know it, it's bigger than your head. Angelfish, very common. You all have heard of angelfish. They're a cichlid, believe it or not. Discus, rams, geophagus species. They called earth eaters. Very beautiful. Yeah. Very striking fins and colors, and they actually sift off the bottom, kind of like a lot of Africans do. You have the severums, which are very beautiful fish. It kind of looks like a cross between a regular cichlid and a discus. They've got that more paddle frisbee body shape. Green terrors, flag cichlids. These are all fish that you may have seen in the pet store. These are the common ones. But there's one fish, one native species of cichlid to the United States, and that is the Texas cichlid. For you that haven't heard of them, they are very beautiful fish. They tend to be a little on the aggressive side, but beautiful fish. These beautiful fish can get to about 13 inches long. There are several variations. That grayish one that you see is with the green speckles is the original version. There are some man-made color versions, the greens and the reds and some other types that you'll see in the hobby. Just a beautiful, beautiful fish. Let's look at some pictures, Dave.
Okay. I didn't mean to push you on that, but yeah,
nope,
while we're going with it, let's look at some centrals real quick. And my favorite, I'm so glad he's first. So I have 2 of these. There's probably one of my favorite fish, period. He is a cool one. He's got that mix with the Oscar personality, but he's also kind of got some African, I don't know, he's cool.
Electric blue acara. I mean, these fish, you can have a 40-gallon tank with a couple of them in there. You don't need a monster tank. They rarely get bigger than, maybe 5 inches or so, but beautiful fish.
Yeah. I got one that's 6. His name's Bob. And then I have one that's 4 inches, and his name's Jack. I love Jack. Jack is like a cool fish. So here's your convict.
Yep.
Yeah.
Beautiful fish. They make a couple different variations. This is the common variation. They have a couple other colors. These are dovi. They call them the wolf cichlid.
Yeah.
They get big. They get mean. Beautiful fish, but man, they can be mean.
Yeah, a lot of these fish are out of Lake Nicaragua and their surrounding rivers. There's another look at that one. There you go.
Electric blue, Jack Dempsey.
Yeah.
Beautiful fish. Another fish that they took a color variation and line bred it to give you this aquarium hobby color, so to speak. This is a firemouth cichlid, and as you can see from the picture, they have that fire under their throat. Beautiful fish.
Yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, just another one of those that they don't get really, really big, but they are feisty.
Yeah. So they call them firemouth because that lower jaw kind of part of the that gill blank down below will flare out, kind of like a beta. Yep. Not as much as a beta, but like a beta, and they'll puff up right there, so their whole mouth is red.
Makes them look bigger.
Yeah. Another one.
These are more like entry level. You can find at the pet store. Very common. This is a regular Jack Dempsey. This is what they look like. I've heard 2 stories. Some of them are very peaceful, and some are Some are quite mean, but that's a
My-
cichlid for you.
My Jack Dempsey either was taken out by, I think, the convict, maybe. I don't know. He got pretty big, and then he big as far as like 4 or 5 inches from very small, but then he was he was floating. Someone took him out. Just couldn't put up with this stuff anymore.
This is a jaguar cichlid, jaguar manganese. We have these in our Florida waterways as well now. Non-native. We caught one a couple weeks ago, probably pushing 15 inches long. Beautiful fish, absolutely beautiful fish. Tend to be a little aggressive too, but beautiful fish. This is a Midas cichlid. So Midas cichlids again exist here in Florida. They get this big nuptial hump on top of their head. They look very, very, very similar to a red devil, but they are 2 distinct species, and they do crossbreed. But beautiful fish. They come in an orange color, a pinkish color, an orange and white, a white. I've seen probably 6 different color variations. This is a Salvini. This is the one that I miss the most. They don't get real big. They typically stay under 5 inches, and the colors, seeing them in person, this is not Photoshop. What you see there is real. I mean, they are, anybody who's ever owned one will perk up, I guarantee, and say the same thing. Absolutely striking fish, the colors. I want to keep them again. Look at that. I mean, that's not made up. That's just insane.
Mm-hmm. I don't have one. I'd like one.
And these fish here, it's kind of cool because, Dave, you got to see these in the boat when we were out, when you were down here. These are called synspilums. They're called redhead cichlids. They call them that because of the red heads, but the males get that hump on their head. But these fish exist down here in Florida as well, and they look spectacular in these Florida warm waters. Beautiful fish. They get about 10, 11 inches. That's another picture of them. You know, the male, like I said, has a little more domed head on them.
So that's our centrals, and let's jump to South Americans.
So the South Americans some love.
Yeah.
Discus.
Yeah, here it comes. There he is. What a
beautiful
cool fish. Oh my gosh, so awesome.
Now these are not beginner fish, everybody. I'm gonna put that out right away. This is don't start your first tank with discus. They have special water requirements, and they really need pristine water, and you have to take care of the water chemistry, and they're just these gentle, beautiful, delicate fish. There's a lot of different color variations of them. I can't even keep track of all the variations that man has created now, but these pictures are real. I mean, this, you know, the ones from the wild, there's quite a few variations of them, but every one of them is beautiful.
I like this guy's red eye. It's pretty cool.
Just, I mean, look at him. I mean, just,
yeah.
It's not fake. It's not hormoned. It's not Asian fish. It's real.
Yeah.
And they do really well in planted tanks as well. This is a little blue ram, or I think that's
German.
Like a little German blue ram. Another small fish that doesn't get very big, does really well in like a planted aquascape type tank with driftwood and stuff, and got a heck of a personality on him, even for being usually, you know, not much bigger than, I've seen some of them that don't get much bigger than the length of one of your fingers, you know?
Yeah.
That looks like a severum.
Yeah.
It's like a green severum, beautiful fish. These are the ones that I was telling you that kind of look like a discus and an angel kind of hooked up, basically.
It's the one on the right. I don't know what's going on the left, but what they're seeing is on the right there.
That's a green terror. There's green terrors and red terrors, and green terrors are beautiful, beautiful fish. Just with the fire that goes in there underneath their eyes and in their tails is amazing fish. You don't see as many of them in the hobby as we once used to, and I hope they come back more. Beautiful fish.
So I was at SB Reefs in Pensacola, Florida, a few months ago. Bought this little 1.5 incher Jack Dempsey, I thought it was. That's what the guy told me too. I said, "Oh, I need to replace my Jack Dempsey. Someone killed him." So I ended up buying him, and he turned out to be a green terror, and he's about 4 inches now. One of the fastest growing fish I've ever had. We'll see. He's pretty aggressive too, so we'll see how he's gonna. He might end up
where he's gonna place in the Dave Gould home.
Yeah, he might end up in the Abuna tank. With the green Texas that I have, he got sent to the Abuna tank too. I got to protect those Acaras and my parrotfish. I just love them so much. But anyway, there you go.
There's another green terror. They get that dome. When they get really old, they start getting that big nuptial hump. That nuptial hump is basically a fatty deposit, and it's also a sexual attractant, for mating purposes, just like horns on a deer or brilliant colors on a bird. That hump on a fish is the same type of thing. Angelfish. That's called the koi angel, and believe it or not, like we said earlier, it is a cichlid. Most people just think of them as a community fish with tetras and mollies, but forget that it is a cichlid.
Yeah, I've got 3 of these as well, and they're real peaceful. They're very inquisitive, so they're always like around checking out what I'm trying to do. But when they turn on each other, when they get that little spark of aggression, they're really funny, like humorous almost, just because of the way they move, and they'll tilt sideways to try to, I don't know, they're just funny fish. I have the calico versions of those.
Yeah, there's a lot of different versions of angels. They've done a lot of really good line breeding, crossbreeding over the years to create some beautiful species. That's a little blue ram or Bolivian ram, one or the other. There's a couple species of rams. One of these guys, they just stay small. Beautiful fish.
Yeah, that one looks like Bolivian to me. I had one of those too. Didn't make it.
Oh, yeah, there's my favorite. I used to have a pair of these albino red Oscars, tiger Oscars.
Yeah,
you can't help but love these guys.
Yeah, that's the version I got. Looks just like them. So our dog's name's Bosco, right? Bosky, we call him. So this is Oscar the Oski for us. Oski the Oscar for us.
That's a red tiger Oscars. That's the common version that you typically see at the, pet stores. A couple bucks, and then you realize that it's going to eat you out of house and home.
There he is again. Yeah,
fully mature. And we got these in Florida too. I catch them on a fishing pole.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So my Oscar story goes like this, Ron, and you've heard it before, but I'll just tell it less than 30 seconds. So one of the best advice I ever got when I first got my first aquarium was that if you want to keep things sane in your house, buy your girlfriend an aquarium, let her decorate it, and pick the fish she wants to put in there. So I said, okay, I got a, whatever it was, for bow front, 40-gallon or whatever. I said, here you go, sweetie, pick it out. So she got what she wanted, and she comes home with this little fish about 2.5, 3 inches, right? The Oscar. Literally in 6 months, it was like 8 or 9 inches. It's 11 inches now. I mean, it's perfect size for the frying pan is what I would say.
For a sandwich.
Yeah. Yeah.
They are good to eat, believe it or not. Sorry to say that, but we live here in Florida, and they exist everywhere, and the people who catch them don't generally throw them back. They eat them. So
that might be a Bolivian.
It's a Bolivian. That's a fully mature, sexy male Bolivian ram there.
Yeah. Looks like he's just got back from a Mardi Gras party.
Another Severum. This is a gold Severum. You can see that kind of discus look to them. Mm-hmm. Beautiful fish.
Dovey.
That's a Feste red terror.
Oh, okay.
You saw some of those down here too. We have them. We call them Midas cichlids down here. They remember the ones we saw that were spawning, and they. Yeah. This is a true red terror here, as in full breeding dress. They'll lose those stripes that are on them, but very aggressive fish. Beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but very aggressive fish.
So what was interesting about our trip in the boat was So we see our Mbuna and our peacocks and haps do their digging and trying to create their nests. We've seen videos of it at Lake Tanganyika, but you don't really get to see that live so much. And those tilapia were building some big nests, and it was pretty cool to see some of these fish building those out. It's cool. Appreciate it.
That couple-hour boat ride, I mean, you saw at least 8 or 10 species that, you know, came from somebody's aquarium. And some of these nests are they're larger than 55-gallon trash cans. Some of them are the size of a smart car. There's another Severum. Beautiful fish. Just beautiful angel.
I think that's them. So that leaves North America, which you were saying is really only one. Oh, we've already looked at those. We looked at those Texas. Yeah, we looked at all those Texases.
You know, it's Texas cichlid. Very pretty fish. Once again, I can't keep stressing enough. You know, they're going to get big. So
tell us about the man-made ones. Here's a picture I threw in. You sent me some pictures. This was a parrot convict mix. Or whatever.
So there is some man-made species. You have a parrot cichlid, and you have the flower horn. These are some pictures I found today. A flower horn. There's a big community of people that love them. They are very personable, beautiful, great fish. Usually end up being the only one in a tank or separated. They get probably the largest hump on their head of any species I've ever seen. And they are truly beautiful fish. But man created those as well. There's a lot of color variations that don't exist in the wild. And some of these, you know, this is a parrot. Goofy looking little guys, but for any of you guys who've owned them, I've had some. I think Dave has. They're cute. I know it's the word guys, and we're not supposed to use the word cute, but they grow on you, man. They got that cute little face, and you know, and I'm against, you know, some things, you know, like when they inject them with dye and call them jelly bean parrots. I'm against that.
Yeah.
But they're a mainstay in the hobby now. They're gonna be here. I don't care if you like them or not. They're just cute sometimes.
I love mine. I have two. I have one that's rather small, and then I have another large one, maybe 5 inches. And the larger one has got that constant smile, right? The lips are in that constant smile, laughing position. He looks like he's just stoned all the time. When I look in there, he's so funny, man.
I know, they're just. Yeah. It's like a face only a mother could love. You know, I don't know if that's how they wanted to create them when they started making them.
Yeah.
And that's what they ended up with. They just said they gave up on the first try, and that's what we got. I don't know, but they grow on you. You know, I'm gonna hear some people poo-poo, oh, they're an abomination. You know, you're entitled to whatever your opinion is. We had some King Kong parrots that someone couldn't keep anymore, and we were just trying to find somebody to give them to, and before you knew it, they grew on us, and they got really big, and we named them. So it is what it is.
Hey, so I found this video. I'm going to run it real quick so we can see some of these beautiful fish from the New World Fish in action. I borrowed this video, so I'm leaving the tag, the way, whatever their name and who they are. If you like the video, go see them and tell them you saw this on Fish Talk Live, and we'll all be friends and everything. This is really cool. They're out of Canada, AquaZone, but it's super cool. So if you want to point some out, Ron, if you can see them while you're overlooking, I can make it easier on you by going like this.
There's Ura. There's some Geophagus species in there. Flag cichlid.
What's that guy right there? Oh, they're gonna tell us he's a Ura.
That's a Ura.
Yeah, I want one of those. Look at his eyes, man. It's so cool.
That's you remember Joey? Joey used to. Joey has those. That's just Synspilum. I was gonna say it would look kind of like the Synspilum, but it's not a male. That's a female version.
Look at her puff up. That's so beautiful.
You got some gouramis in there, and you got crebensis in there, which actually are an African river fish. There's so many beautiful species that I can't remember.
That's they're gonna tell us here in a second. Yeah, Vieja. Yeah, the female version.
Yeah, Vija. Beautiful fish. Just I'm glad I got to see the keyhole. It's so commonly overlooked.
Look at them, just like so cool. They're all happy as all
They're
get
all
out.
getting along. I love them. I miss them.
I have no controls on the fast forward here, so we just get to enjoy this stuff. If you want to talk about any of those other things on your paper there, I know we kind of cut that short to kind of give people some reference with names and stuff. We can just let the video play. I'll turn the music down. And
Okay.
we can just continue on. Let's let that video play.
Your water requirements for keeping these fish is typically hard. Alkaline water, anything around 7.5 or higher for the Central Americans. For your South Americans, it's a little more soft water, more lower pH. There's a lot of trees in the river, and that acidity will lower the pH. So do some research on whatever you plan on keeping, making sure that the water parameters are generally the same. The reality is most of these fish are farm raised, bred here in the States. So they've all been bred basically to handle the same water conditions. Neutral pH, typically somewhere between 7.2 to 7.5, and they can handle a wide range of temperatures. That's most domestic farm raised fish. They're very easy to keep, like we said. You just do some research, figure out how much tank space they need. Some of these guys get massive. Some of them get 2 feet long or longer. If you're looking at things like wanting to keep peacock bass or stuff like that, most of these cichlids are going to be on average 8 to 15 inches when fully mature. So make sure you've got a big tank if you need that. Also, they're known to be messy eaters, very carnivorous a lot of times and attack their food. So you're going to want to step up your filtration a little bit if you're going to keep these fish as well. And the best part of them is you can really use your imagination decorating your tank. Rock, driftwoods, depending on the species, you can get away with live plants, which most of the time you can't because they're diggers as well. But you can really go to town on decorating a tank. For your lighting, my opinion is some of the best lighting I've seen with these fish is relatively low, not overkill. They come from an area where there's a lot of overhanging trees and nature, and even though they're farm raised, it's kind of still in their genetics. They're ambush. A lot of them are ambush predators, so they like that more shaded type environment. Their behavior, like we've talked about, is they're very territorial. The males don't play around. So if you're going to keep multiples of the same type, you may need to separate them when they have mated or are getting ready to mate. And a mated pair should not be kept with anybody else because they're going to terrorize the entire tank. Some types are more compatible than others. Don't stick a 3-inch blue ram in with a 12 to 14-inch Midas cichlid. It won't end well. Use some common sense. Do some serious research. And then to mix it up a little bit, some very good non-cichlid tank mates are fish like giant Danios that like to hang out by the top. Silver dollars, beautiful fish. Tinfoil barbs, they look like a big shiner to me. You bass fishermen know what shiner is. Bayless sharks, I've always loved Bayless sharks, bright silver with the black fins, and lots of different types of large catfish. I mean, that's usually what makes a New World cichlid tank pop is some serious catfish in there. Their diet is very, very similar to just about everything else. They're mostly carnivores. There are omnivores, and there are even some that prefer just vegetation. So whatever you feed here, like say African cichlids or Central or South Americans, they just need a well-rounded diet of 40 to 50% protein, and get a food that's appropriate size for them. You can get away with feeding, you know, a lot of frozen foods that may be a little too big for other types of fish. You can feed, you know, silver sides and big krill and even whole shrimp. The one thing about South and Central Americans is, you know, and I've done it, and a lot of you may have as well, is if you want to feed your fish live food, I just want to, you know, do a little public service announcement. Be careful and do it sparingly. Goldfish and other feeder fish that you would get from your local pet store are typically riddled with, you know, diseases because they're kept in, you know, poor environment and they're overstocked, and they don't carry a lot of nutritional value and cause water, you know, parameter issues. So try to avoid it if possible, but if you do need to feed it, choose some other options. You know, some great live foods that I like to feed as well is live earthworms. Earthworms are great protein. If you want to feed something that's going to move around more, you can feed like ghost shrimp or brine shrimp, blackworms, or even little guppies. You know, some people just breed guppies for that. And then if you get around to wanting to breed them, do some research. Like I said, they get mean, they get big, they're egg layers. That's about it. You know, we talked about where they came from, and I'm just touching on it. Just wanting you guys to know that they exist and to explore your other options as far as cichlids. So.
Yeah, it's awesome. You know, so as we do these shows over the weeks and months, we can dive down deeper into particular things. So if you see something on a show and you'd like a show done about that, whether it's, you know, on blue acaras or just, you know, cichlids from South America, we can do that. Today's show is all about just introducing you to perhaps maybe new fish that you haven't seen. We do have some questions. We're going to go ahead and take those questions, but we're going to have a break first. We're going to go ahead and hear from our sponsors. I had the pleasure a couple weeks ago to go to Orlando and photograph this company's awesome products. So Wind Rider Creations is Steve Frosty. That's how he was doing business for a number of years. They've changed their name now to Acrylic Habitats. And they have a new website coming together. That's why I went to Orlando to shoot their products. I was so impressed with the manufacturing quality of these people's sumps, their filters, their bird enclosures, their bird carriers, frag growing rock, frag holders, all these different things that they made. There's so much thought put into it. It's absolutely one of the most impressive companies I've seen in a long time. That's Acrylic Habitats. They have a new name and all of that. This is kind of what their sumps. This is a sump here, and they also make custom aquariums as well. So they're very, 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 very cool. We talked about this earlier, and this is really exciting. So check this out.
Thanks, Ron Cichlids, for the Seachem Title 55 that I got in the raffle. Now the biggest problem is what tank to put it in.
Well, everybody, this is Nathan Pate down here in North Carolina. Crown Loyalty Cichlids. Just want to thank Ron a whole lot for this new python I won on Tuesday last week. And just want to let you know you got some great food, some awesome fish, and you're just an awesome dude. I really appreciate you, Ron. Thank you.
Hey guys, this is Ryan. This is my son Jake. This is my daughter Rosalie. We just wanted to give Ron and Dave a big shout out and thank you for the fans and for the drawing and for the show. And I hope everybody enjoys the show tonight.
All right, so I'll do a little voiceover on this. So check this out, everyone. All during the month of April, Ron is doing like a Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, the golden ticket. It's a treasure hunt. So every bag of food is eligible. He's pre-packaged all these bags. He doesn't know where they're at. We do know that there's still available $100, $50, and $25 gift certificates that are still available. So you buy food and you can win. We've had several winners, and we have a few more. So here we go. All right, we're back. We're going to do some live chat, live interaction questions. So if you have those questions, I want to give a special shout out to Mr. TJ Huffstetler. Thank you so much, bro, for being the question moderator and pulling that stuff. There's a lot of people that make this show happen. So we've got Kimberly Bosworth, Nathan Pate, Isaac Garcia, James Smith, TJ Huffstetler, Greg Haste,
Rebecca.
Rebecca Dunn. We have Scott DeFore and Mark Rolls and Catherine are moderators in some of these groups. So it takes a big team to pull this off, you know. That's why I always say when someone, I'm just going to go make a show, I'll be like, go for it.
Nope.
Have some fun at it. So let's pull up. Okay, so nobody's called in. You can do it two ways. If you type in star info right now in the chat, it will pull up the chat bot, and there's a button you can push if you're on mobile, or if your desktop allows you to make calls, you can do that. I'm saying right now that if you're ever thinking about calling into the show, you should do it.
Yeah.
Like this show would be a great one to do that. Here's that graphic. I'm just let that go. Put on some headbanging music and turn it all the way up so your mama's like, what is going on in there? Call in. Don't be a wimp. All right, that's enough of that, all right? All right, enough of that. Okay, so let me go in here. And our first question, I'm going to go up here, is going to be, well, I think Ron answered this before it came, but if you can quickly remind Mr. Walt Leonard how many cichlids there are in North America, as far as native.
Technically, there's one native cichlid in North America, which is the Texas cichlid.
Yeah. So Mr. Daniel Carrasquillo, I hope I got that right. Soy Mexicano, you know, so I'm part Mexican, so I like to pronounce it correctly. And I'll tell you that story later. It's not derogatory. It's very fun, and it's true. So, Daniel, which new world cichlids can you keep with Africans?
Depends on what type of Africans we're talking about. You know, Mabuna, peacocks, haps, things like that. I mean, crebensis usually do pretty well. Any of your rams, there's a lot of different fish. I can't really narrow it down because there's too many variables. You got lots of Africans and you got lots of Central and South Americans.
Yeah.
I'm even seeing Oscars with Africans. You know, I don't agree with it, but
Yeah.
I've seen them together. So
Don't put them with any little ones.
yeah.
So, Mr. Lance Michael Knoll, I'm going to answer this one for you, Ron. He says, are those albino kobu behind you? No, those are actually albino dolphins.
Albino dolphin morais. That's my breeder colony. Beautiful fish. Dave got to see them when he was here a couple of weeks ago. They're just truly stunning. They breed every day or two.
So somebody verify this for me. Ella Gregory said, someone said we hit 100. If you can verify that.
It doesn't matter if we hit 100 or not, because I was going to give away a free fish anyway.
Well, let's do it. All right. So Manny Via, first-time watcher over the weekend, spent hours watching previous episodes. Well, thank you so much, Manny Via.
Thank you very
much. I got that right if it was spelled correctly coming to me. This Catherine Walker wants to know why they call them German. I think she's referring to the Rams.
The German Blue Rams?
The Rams, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they speak German.
Yeah, maybe. What it could be is that they're line bred out of a breeder from Germany. There's a lot of really famous aquarists in Germany that.
Yeah, the Germans have done a lot with line breeding over the last 50 to 60 years.
Walt Leonard also would like to know if pukus are a cichlid.
Pacus are not a cichlid. They are in the same family as, piranhas, basically. They're vegetarians, and they get huge. We have them down here in Florida, sometimes reaching 30 to 40 pounds. Believe it or not, a friend of mine holds the state record for the largest pacu ever caught, and he caught it here in South Florida.
Nice.
He's got a plaque and everything for it.
Nice. One more quick one. We'll go to the caller. Thanks so much, caller, for calling in. Dean Simister wants to know the best food for electric blue. It says avatars, but I'm thinking that's going to either be Dempsey or Akara, probably.
Yeah, I watched the Avatar movie. I think they ate, native fruit and stuff, but electric blue Akaras are just. I want to reference my food, but the reality is you would feed them whatever you would feed a typical cichlid. They're omnivore. They need 40 to 50% protein. They need some veggies. Whatever type of food that you prefer that's meant for cichlids, you can feed them.
I can tell you what mine are thriving on, and that is Northfin. No, excuse me.
You suck.
No, mine thrive on, I use Ron's food. I use a juvie mix that I throw in that tank. And then sometimes I even throw in the big boys so that it settles on the bottom and my little gang of Corys can munch on it. I got like 12 little runts in there. But also Omega Flake is the Omega colors is what I use. So let's go ahead and check out this collar and see if we can give away a Ford F-150. Let me see here. Hey, caller, how's it going? You are live. Let me unmute you so that you can be with us. How's it going, caller?
Good. How you doing?
Good. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name's David, and I am from South Florida, Cape Coral, actually.
Hey, he's a neighbor. How you doing, David?
Good. How you doing?
Pretty good. Thank you for calling in. You got a question for me?
I do. I just recently started a Frontosa tank, and I was just kind of wondering, I can't really find any information on what other fish go well with Frontosas.
You can't really find any information because the reality is Frontosas are generally should be kept to themselves.
Okay.
They are a gentle giant. And most people think because of how big they are that they're big, aggressive fish. They're not. They're very gentle, very passive, and should be kept with more of their own and other Tanganyikan fish. If for some reason you decide that you have to put a Central or South American cichlid in with them, you're really going to have to find a mild-mannered one. It's just not a good mix.
Yeah. I
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, please go ahead. There's a little delay. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. No, I definitely wasn't going to try to mix the two different regions of cichlids together. I was looking for, like I said, any other fish that would go well with them. You know, something from their own neck of the woods, more than likely.
Lots of choices. Depending on the size of the frontosas. Now it's best to introduce, frontosas. It's best to, when they're small, start introducing fish. But you can have ocellatus, even though ocellatus can fit in their mouth. I've had ocellatus with them. I've had Treticephalus. I've had lulupes. I've had calvus. I've had compressiceps with them. Synodontis catfish. You can get away with just about any of the Tanganyikans as long as you raise them together. If you have 6 or 8 inch frontosas, then you're going to need to choose tank mates that are probably at least 4 inches when you get them, just so they don't accidentally look to be dinner.
Hey, David, let me ask you, what kind of food are you feeding those frontosas?
Right now I'm feeding them a little bit of the bug bites.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So we'd like to send you out half a pound of Ron's food for free. And what size is your frontosa? They're small?
They're roughly 2 to 3 inches right now.
Yeah, so you probably need a
Nice.
juvie food. But here's the thing. Here's the kicker, David. Here's how it gets exciting, is that, in April we're doing that food promo. So there's this little puffy, soft sticker, raised sticker that goes on your tank. Really cool sticker. And if you get one of those, you'll win a gift card. So there's a possibility you win $100 out of this phone call. We appreciate you calling in.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Reach out to me later and with your info, and I'll take care of you, my friend.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling in.
Okay, thank you so much, Dave. Thank you for all the info. Your show's great.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, David. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a good one.
I always have to double check now, Ron, that I'm not kicking you. Remember that one episode where I was trying to get someone off the call? See you, Ron. It's now the Dave Show. I think we got a few more questions. Let me go ahead and take a look here. And we're just teasing you. Hey, you hear it all the time about Ron's food. There are purists in the industry that are like, oh, it's got to be this and it's got to be that. And, there's the truth of the matter is this. There is a lot of great food out there for fish. There's a lot of shitty food out there as well. So Ron happens to have studied that for 12 years when he was raising his fish. Like, what can I give them and add them? So Ron's got a blend of food. It's a mix of food that he puts together. He's got his processes and extrudes them and makes them out. But the thing about it is that for the 1 pound of food, you'd have to buy like $75, $80 worth of ingredients to combine to make that food. So that's why it's such a great value, and it's proven. Everybody that uses it will tell you that the fish get bigger and grow faster. And especially if you buy Ron's fish. If you buy Ron's fish that have been brought up on it, they're already acclimated, and you just start feeding them. It's like, I have a tetrastigma in there that every time I walk by, I think that the fish is photoshopped. It's in my tank, right? And he looks photoshopped. He's looking so good. Hey, Ron, Beth Neighbors would like to know how she can get her peacock juvies to color up as they're growing out and they're not coloring up. She uses omega-1 cichlid flakes and omega-1 small pellets, and started with First Bites. Must be bug bites.
Yeah. Oh, First Bites is the Hikari stuff that they have for baby new fish.
Yeah.
It just depends on what they are. If they're female juvies, then they're not going to color, and if they're not of the large enough size yet, then or maturity, then they're not going to color up. Typically, a lot of your peacock juvies aren't going to show much color until they're about 2 inches, and they're going to start to blossom a little bit, and usually not going to show you most of their color until they're well after 4 inches. But like Dave said, it depends on what they're eating and how they're being taken care of, and the water changes and growth.
Water changes have a lot to do with whether or not a fish is happy. The more water changes, the healthier they are, the faster they grow, all of that stuff. So,
and my recommendation is try doing more water changes. try mixing up their food to something else. Maybe they're just not old enough. Maybe it's poor genetics. There's several factors.
So Beth, if you want to try Ron's food, there is a code for free samples on that. So do you remember that code, Ron? Free sample or foods?
I think it's sample food. Sample food, one word.
Yeah, sample food. But we'll find it. You can also go star info. When you go to star info and that chat bot opens up, start typing to it. I'll eventually read that and just say, hey, give me info about the samples. Let's get you started on something that we know works with, male peacocks. And here's the thing too, is they sometimes need to just grow out. Some fish take longer to grow, get color. Yep. We're going to go ahead and the rest of these questions, we're going to go ahead and I guess one last one here. So the tap water 7.4. Would I need to lower it in order to keep Central or South American cichlids?
Nope.
No.
7.4 is fine. Just remember, a stable pH is more important than what the actual level is. So if your pH is always around that, then you're good to go. I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah. So we've got some really cool Member of the Week videos. Our moderator out of the New World Cichlid Clubhouse, Mr. Scott DeFore, is in here, and Scott McBride. So it's the Scott and Scott show. Scott's up first. Go ahead, Ron.
McBride. One of my good customers, great guy. He's got some parrotfish in there. He's got some plecos in there. Those are the plecos. I mean, the parrotfish. Just a cute little squirts. Clown loaches. Severum. These guys are cool. If you want to keep a relatively peaceful, beautiful fish, Severum is one. Scott DeFore posted these. These are Geophagus, nicknamed Earth Eaters. There's quite a few different variations of them, but they're really beautiful. They tend to kind of school around and they just jam their faces into the sand and spit out whatever they can't eat. Really cool behavior they have. Beautiful fish as well.
I love your driftwood in there. That's another way to lower pH, by the way, for all of you out there on the 7.4. If you put some wood in there, you'll start releasing tannins and it brings down the pH. So yeah, great looking fish, Scott. We totally appreciate it. Speaking of New World,
my name is Kimberly Bosworth, and I'm an admin for the New World Cichlid Hangout. We have a great group because we like talking about our South, Central, and American cichlids. We like to see you there. We have a great group of people. Thank you. Bye-bye.
It's that time again. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's one of the coolest things about this show is the spin to win wheel. We don't just throw up a random number generator and give stuff away. We try to make fun and gamified, and one of the ways we do that is with our spin to win wheel. So I'm going to throw out a hashtag, and y'all gonna... Y'all. I'm from California. I'm already picking it up after 4 years. Y'all. Oh, gosh darn, son. I know that's right. Ain't that right?
Darn too.
Okay, so let's see. We don't have that hashtag yet, but let me just see here. Let that music play. God, I love it. Facebook has not tagged me about this music in a long time. Let's see. I'm looking at what the old one is. Let me just turn the ticker off. That won't confuse them. Okay. So I'm going to play this next song. Ron's going to throw out the hashtag, something simple for him. Here's the hashtag, Ron.
I'm trying to think of what you put me on the spot there.
Oscar.
Hashtag Oscar.
Yeah. Hashtag Oscar, everybody. Put it in right now while the song is playing. And I'm going to... I'm changing the little ticker at the bottom. All right, right now's the time. I just want to remind you this is how it's going to work. Off of this hashtag, we're going to pick 2 winners. One of them's going to spin, and one of them's going to win a large fish of choice off of Ron Cichlids. That is a way that we can give back. It's member appreciation. The way you can give back is by liking the Fish Talk Live page, liking the Ron Cichlids page, and joining the Ron Demers Cichlid Clubhouse. We're almost at 2,500 members in that group, and we'd sure like to get to that this week. So that's how you can give back. Go ahead and put that hashtag in there, hashtag Oscar. And we're going to pick a couple winners. For all of you that stayed through the whole time, it looks like still 70, 71. I'm looking at like almost 2,100 views. So that's good. People roll in and roll out. Nobody has attention span anymore, Ron. They don't. I don't. All right, everybody. We bring Ron and Dave back, put them in the right position. Here we are. All right, so let me set this up. We are at here. Let me sign in. Sign in with the Facebooks. And now we need to pull up the wheel. All right. So there it is. Okay. Episode 25. We got 833 comments and 87 reactions. Oh, by the way, if you haven't liked this particular video, you might want to do that. I'm not sure how we're going to do the other one, how we're going to pick it. But the first one we're going to pick right here. And we're going to pick this by hashtag. The first thing we do is we clear it out. The first person that comes up is not a winner. It's just to make sure the software is working on there. So. Okay, now I unpicked it. Okay, there. So you can't see. All right, here we go. So we're going to go with... Ooh, I like that hashtag, Be the Boss. Whoever put Be the Boss, need to contact me through Fish Talk Live page. Send me a message if you're the person that did Be the Boss. I have something for you. What was the hashtag again? Oscar?
Oscar.
Yeah, here it is. All right. Good luck, everybody. This is for the spin. So, no, Dan didn't win this month. He won. Oh. He won off the food, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, congratulations, Dan. Hey, do me a favor. Send me 6 two-digit numbers, please. All right, appreciate you. All right, so we're going to spin for you, Dan. You've got to call yourself out right now, so... I don't know. Someone said, no, it's Dave. It's like, squirrel. I'm on. Everybody's on. Okay, they're there. So I'm looking for Dan Collins to shout out real quick that you're here, and I'm going to spin for you. This is what we're going to do here. I need to find that wheel. There we go.
There he is.
All right, Dan, here we go. So there's a possibility that you're going to give away a couple of fish twice.
Yep.
So let's go ahead and do this one right here. There's a lot of good prizes on here, including a special shout out to James Smith and Jeffrey Kirk at 88 Tank Supply. You're on the wheel with a 4-pound Dragon Rock or Oko Rock there. So give me a color, Ron.
Let's go with
yellow. I'm just kidding.
Sure, Dave. Yellow.
What color, Ron? I'm just playing with you. Pink? Give me a color, bro. I'm just playing with you. Come on.
Red.
Okay, green. Okay, red. Which one?
Any
and
color
what?
You want, anywhere you want it.
Red and which color? Where at?
9 o'clock.
I'm going to put the handheld laser, which is red, right there at 9 o'clock. Everybody watching this, good luck to you, Mr. Dan Collins. All right. So we're going to send you off a 250-gram bottle of Seacam Safe. That is a dechlorinator made by one of our favorite companies.
Congratulations, my friend. You've had a lucky month.
Yeah. So how do we want to do this one? You can tell me, like, you know how I'm always trying to get you to, like, hand off things and get you more comfortable doing certain things. Tell me how you want to do this next one. And this is going to be for a free large fish.
Just do the same thing. Just pick again. And this person wins a free large fish.
Okay. So let's go here, Oscar. All right. Everybody ready?
I'm ready.
Are y'all's ready on this? Come on now. Yeah, congrats, Dan. I'm reading the thing here. So they call this suspense where I'm from, where you just hold it off. Who wants to win? If I don't see, I'm watching this chat. I want some encouragement. I want to hear people on the chat that says, I want to win a big fish. I want to see people excited. I want to see people come unglued for winning a big fish right now. In other words, it's not worth it to me, Ron. Just kidding. Come on, you guys ready? Here it is right here. Here's the winner of that fish. Brody Lundgren.
Congratulations, Brody. You've had a good month, too.
Yeah, he also won at the...
He also won a golden ticket.
Yeah, that's great. That's why you do it, Ron, is make it happen. So that's awesome. All right, so...
Both of you guys contact me offline, and we'll work it out. We'll get you your stuff.
Yeah. So here's the thing: is I usually give you the final word, Ron, and maybe I can have the final word. You set me up.
I gotta set you up.
Yeah.
Oh, how do I?
That's the recap.
The recap.
That's the setup is a recap.
I hope you guys learned something tonight with New World Cichlids. I appreciate all of y'all coming. I love you guys.
Awesome.
We're gonna be doing a raffle next week, and keep your eyes open for the next raffle.
Damn, I didn't do that. I'm gonna do it right now. So I think it's gonna go live tomorrow or the next day. There's gonna be a big box raffle. $5 each, 75 slots. That's where you get to go on the website and pick out 4 large fish. Large is 4 inches, or equal value. You'll see it in the text how that works out. But hey, $5 a slot. If you buy 4 tickets, you get a free one. So $20 gets you 5 tickets.
Yeah.
Look for that tomorrow.
And we're letting you guys choose what fish you want. So the reality is whatever I have in stock, whatever you want, you get to choose. You're not locked down to a couple different types. You have full control over size and type of fish.
Yeah. All right, everyone. So I'm going to make the closing remark today, and I appreciate everything. And what I really wanted to say is that life is too short to get all worked up.
Yeah.
Life is too short to have your panties in a mix. Not everybody knows everything. And some people, we just have to remember where they come from and what they're doing. Some people are going through hard times. They're suffering from depression. They've had a recent loss of job. They have to move out of their house. They can't pay their bills, all these things. And one of the ways to get away from feeling so bad about that and having depression is by going on social media, watching shows like this and all that. The funny thing about social media is social media seems to make experts out of people. And so when you combine those two things, I'm an expert and I'm also feeling shitty about the world and myself, people will flare up, or there'll be these different things. It's really, really prevalent in the fish keeping groups. So I do this in a lot of different markets for personal development, all these different businesses, but I also in the fish keeping market, and I see it, and it's a lot worse. Competition, people talking crap, people thinking they know it, and they get upset about this, or they have to defend themselves when there's no need for that. So I made a post today that I just wanted to point something out. I didn't think it was right. My personal thoughts on that or whatever, which is fine. And you can call me out and tell me those things in person. You can always send me a message if you don't like what I say, and I'll respond to that properly. But the kind of backbiting and the shit talking behind thing, that's just not cool. And that's how I wanted to end this show, is that, you know, we're in this to make ourselves feel good about what we do with our fish and our hobby. That's why we spend so much money. So let's just support each other. Let's continue to support Ron in his endeavors of pulling stuff out of his pocket to give to you, those types of things. So anyway, super great. Next week's episode may possibly be the trial run of Tank Boss. If we're not ready for that, then we're going to throw in another fish related, meaning this type of fish. You know, maybe we'll do something on Asian fish, although that seems scary to me because I don't know much about it. But something like that. But anyway, we'll have a next show. Thanks again for tuning in. Without you guys, we would not have this show. I appreciate you, Ron, and we'll see everybody later.
Love you too, brother. Love you guys. Have a good night.
All right, see you later. So I was kind of doing an experiment to see how many people would actually watch through the end of the show and stay on. So congratulations to you 11 people. What you're looking at right here are computer animations of the vocalizations of animals in the Amazon. I thought it was so cool that I put it on there at the end. But anyway, thanks again.